Welcome to Fairway Media's coverage of the Back 9 Round 2 2021 Falling Barn Open, brought to you by Grit and you. If you want to be a part of the next video, please hit the email down below. You can help sponsor. Once again, looking at one of the beautiful fallen barns here in Sedro, Woolley. Tournament put on by our man Cole, killing it. Absolutely event you have to see if you're in the Northwest. Skagit Valley Disc Golf Club, once again bringing us around here at NSRA. Commentary by myself, Corey Jones. Bhrahsten Waugh will tell us who is on the card.
Yep. All right. So we got Blake Kelly from Pennsylvania. He was just visiting from, I think he was working, and he got done. We got Curtis Ferrill from Port Orchard, sponsored by Millennium. Kenny Clark, who is the champion of this tournament last year. And we have myself, sponsored by Mando's Pro Shop in Auburn, Washington. Go check it out. We got some good stuff over there.
Support your local retailers. Going into the beginning of the back 9, hole 10, one of the most daunting tee shots on the course. Choose your poison, left to right, 324 feet. OB to the right, and some danger to the left, including quite the drop-off behind the basket. It's, again, one of the harder holes. It did play below par this round, so people were really bringing some fire to round 2.
Wow. Alright, I am going with a Savant. I'm just trying to make the gap. That's pretty much that's all I want to do on this hole. Fine with a 3 because you're not really missing much. I turn it over just a little too much, but still dead center fairway.
Yep, easy center fairway, and like you said, really that is all you have to do on this hole is hit the gap. If you make the gap, you have a very high chance at converting a par. You just have to miss this first kind of important tree here. Looks like Kenny once again lining up a forehand roller. If you have not seen round 1 coverage, make sure to check that out.
Wow, very similar. Very, very similar. I think that's like the exact same, but you could put like follow flight, it'd be
They'd
pretty...
be within inches of each other, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Blake lining up a backhand, what looks like the left side route, if I had to guess. His form is very almost Matt Oram to me, the way he spins his wrist at the end of his throw. But he has
really good
great control over it. Yeah, he seems to be an all-around solid golfer. Curtis opting for the forehand.
Yep, I believe he's throwing, I think this is a mortar, which is a super overstable fairway. I think it's like a 6-speed or something like that, 5-speed. Could be wrong, though.
I've definitely heard of the disc, but I've never thrown one. I don't know much about it at all.
Yeah, I haven't really thrown... I know it's by Millennium.
Great up. That's going to make easy work of this, and a par is really not... anything to be ashamed about on this hole. You kind of want to play this for a 3. This would, in my opinion, be a bonus 2 for sure.
Oh, definitely. Even with it playing below par, it still is a bonus 2. We got a different angle from last time. Kenny way down the hill.
Looking like he has a window at it.
Oh
my goodness, what a run.
Just short.
Looks like the mortar is a 5-speed.
Okay, 5-speed.
Shout out to Fairway Media's stat man. What a get from Blake. Great 2. One of the few to get it. There were a few out there. Once again, it did average under par for round 2. It played as a 2.86. Kenny has a little bit more work coming back up the hill after that unfortunate bit of a roll away. He really gave it a good bid. Not surprising to me to see him connect on that par, though. He is an absolute sniper on the green.
Similar to his putt on 4.
I think the first one
from down the hill.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, he's a very consistent player. That's why if you ever see one of those misses, you know it's uncharacteristic. He putts in a very specific way. Usually hits the target very well. Moving on to hole 11, par 3, 343 feet. The most open gap is what you're going to see the drone flying currently, leaving you plenty of room to move left to right. However, there are a high number of players that will opt for a backhand into that grove of trees on the right. You do have to worry about an OB line that separates hole 11 and hole 10, which does come into play more often with the backhand than the forehand. You can also find out of bounds long and left.
Yeah, which is going to be more rare because it is the path, which is separated with pretty long grass, so you can get caught up in that pretty easily before you go OB.
Yeah, players are most definitely having a higher chance of hitting an OB going the route that Blake is going here, but he made it through just about everything. That's about as good as you can ask. It's, as you said earlier, it's kind of a poke and hope if you're going through that left side, but I've seen it work many, many times, so I can't say that it's not
there.
A route.
It's definitely there.
You look like you're lining up for the more traditional shape of the shot, which is a left to right, playing a forehand since your right hand is your dominant hand.
It is.
What are you throwing here?
I went with a first round Heimberg, what I threw on one.
Okay.
It's a lot more overstable, but I'm surprised that it just like flipped up like that. You can see a little bit of a wind, but
kind of
pretty
a similar result. I think that you were just off like on hole 1. It had just that little extra flip to you.
Yep.
So it's just pushing a little too long. Kenny with that absolute smash of a hyzer puts himself in a very similar position from round 1.
Ridiculous.
That thing was a mile in the sky, pure hyzer, probably 86 miles an hour.
At least.
Curtis going with the flex. It's definitely drifting a bit wide left, but that's going to hook up in time, it looks like, to stay at least in bounds.
Yeah. Not going to be fun in there.
Not where you want to be, but he is not sacrificing a stroke to the course by being out of bounds. He has a pretty solid all-around flick game, though, so his touch approach shot gives him a pretty high percentage to make it there as long as he clears this corner.
Which he does.
He did that very well.
Very good shot.
He's just so well-rounded. Looks like you're in a kind of similar spot. Looks like you maybe have a little bit more footing to work with.
Yeah, it was very uncomfortable because of all that brush in my face and stuff. I just didn't know, just trying to get it out of there.
Yeah, that's a very thick tree. That was a great shot. You're going to have an easy conversion there. Blake got through most everything. He actually got a lot closer than it looked like from the initial angle.
Yeah.
I thought he'd be about 10 feet shorter than he is, 10, 15 feet shorter, but he's just right in line. Oh. He's going to have a pretty similar distance putt for the comeback there, just a little bit high.
Kenny with that too.
Nuke OS just puts it there and gets it home with the banger. I don't know how long he's been throwing the Nuke OS, but I know he's been putting with the bangers for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's been putting or throwing that Nuke OS for a long time too, because I've seen him with it in his bag. At least one of them in his bag for a while. And then just a couple of tapped in pars over here.
Well, no harm, no foul. Kenny getting a nice birdie, though. It's tightening up the race a little bit closer to the top there. You're still within 4 strokes, though, so it's really anybody's game.
And moving on to hole 12. So we got a wide open 356-foot hole. You're going to see people go hyzer kind of by the trees on the right, or a sidearm over like the long grass, which is OB, and you're going to want to be either inside of that big tree or just outside of it. And then Kenny looking like he's going to do that sidearm I was talking about, leaving it really wide.
Yeah, the hole really does shape up for a hyzer, either from left to right or right to left. So with it being as open as it is, it does kind of allow the player to choose what is best for them. You're also getting just a beautiful view here from the tee pad.
Yeah. This is
what a scenic course. Like I just love looking at this place.
This course is beautiful.
That shot was lasered. It looks like it's drifting a little bit more, but I mean it got a nice little bounce out. He's not quite in the circle from that view, but that was a friendly kick out. It looked like it was drifting a bit more right than he had hoped for.
Yep.
What are you throwing off the tee here?
I'm throwing a buzz. I have a Paige Peterson Z buzz pretty overstable for a buzz. It flies similar to my Rock 3, except I know I can, this one just has like a little bit less fade at the end, so it goes a little bit farther. I leave it just a little wide, and it hits those, the trees that Blake hit.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like a pretty similar result to what happened to Blake there. Curtis looking to throw the forehand, opting to use the more wide open side of the fairway. I mean, again, it is carrying over the OB, so you have more danger in that, but the fairway is much wider open left to right, all the way down to that main tree.
Beautiful.
He's got a nice flex line on that.
Looking like it's going to come in with 4-2, which is great.
That was good speed control. It's, the end of its flight, it didn't have a big skip or anything. That's going to put him in position into a chance to get that birdie. You look to be a little ways out. Are you using just your normal AVR?
Yeah. I use my normal putting putter, because I know I can get it. I have a pretty big, a lot of snap on my putt, so...
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I don't really need to opt to the more understable one, because if I do that, then it's just going to like turn over on me more than my normal ones.
Blake looks like he was only a few feet ahead of you. Really putting it up there.
Oh.
That branch might have kept him closer, honestly. It was
Yeah.
pretty high up. He seems to kind of have that up to down putt. He really kind of rides the arc as opposed to throwing a straight line at it at distance. But either way, he's kept himself in range to keep it as a pretty easy 3.
No.
That's definitely uncharacteristic.
Of Curtis, yeah.
He's usually really good. But knowing him, that's about as long as he thought about that mistake. He's ready to move on and play better. So
Definitely.
Kenny putting it in, sliding one step up the leaderboard there on this card. Another great 2 from Kenny. You have this to finish out with your par. Nice putt.
Thank you. And that one felt pretty good, because it's a little tester, or not really a tester, but like gets you like thinking just a little bit. That distance right there.
Yeah, there's enough distance on it that you're not just walking up to it with an immediate, I'm just going to tap this in. You got to do your routine and do your work. So Curtis with a slight misstep, but keeping par. He's still in the race. There's room.
Definitely. There's still a bunch of holes left too.
Here we are, hole 13, par 3, 356 feet. Pretty straightforward. You just have to carry it over this slight little bit of a hill. The basket is underneath this tree line with OB not far behind it. There are a few logs that kind of block certain spots that go OB, but for the most part, you really don't want to test that. That being said, it's pretty straightforward. Definitely the biggest tee pad I've ever thrown from.
Oh yeah.
Kenny got over on this one. Catch cam didn't quite get it.
Looking like he's going to be about where you were first round.
Maybe he'll see my friend the Snick.
Yeah. If he's still chilling there.
We got Blake lining up, getting ready to throw a backhand. Once again, if you have not watched the round 1 coverage and you'd like to see more of Kenny Clark, he is featured in round 1. Make sure to check that video out, like and subscribe. Blake getting it up there. He'll have a chance to run the putt, it looks like, depending on whether or not he wants to attack that with a 1-stroke lead currently. I would guess he doesn't, but I haven't seen this, so I don't know. That looks like your Rock 3 again, if I am correct.
Yep, Rock 3. Just a little, kept it a little too much, not enough power on it. Too much hyzer, so it didn't go as straight as I would like it.
Yeah, it seemed to have just kind of started on a hyzer and finish on a hyzer.
So good.
That looks very promising. That held straight for a great amount of time. Not too big of a skip. He definitely can run that putt. Knowing his skill set and confidence, I would think that he does. Kenny has a bit of a look at it, but I would assume that, yeah, he's just pitching up, giving himself a pretty easy 3, and that's going to be well inside his range.
Yeah, all these people on the road are waiting to tee off on the next hole because of how big that backup is.
Round 2 had a pretty dang large backup there. It was continuing through most of the day. I know we had, I believe, 4 cards by the time I had played this hole during round 2. But again, as we highlighted in round 1, this is one of the more dangerous holes, and there's just a lot that can go wrong on hole 14, the next hole. Lining up here for your birdie opportunity from right about the same area Blake was. Good bid, kept a little bit low.
Yep, just a little low left. Fine to hit metal though.
No, that's, you have to, and it's hard to commit to the right height sometimes when you're not only putting downhill, but also putting at OB. But if you're Curtis Ferrill, you have ice in your veins, and you hit nothing but chains. My man is a sniper. Great putt. Absolute great birdie. I knew he was going to shake it off from the last hole and just continue to move forward. Kenny cleans up par.
Kenny. Yep.
That's tightening it up again at the top. We're now only 1 stroke away with a tie. You're still holding on. Everybody's really just kind of keeping pace with each other. There's a little bit of shifting in the middle, but for the most part, this has been a very, very tight race for everybody on this card. Going to hole 14, par 3, 466 feet. What do you think about this hole?
I like it. It's a good hole. I like how challenging it is. I do like challenging par 3s, but this one's definitely it's up there for challenging par 3s for me because of how tight that gap is and just how straight you have to keep your shot. Because if you do go right, then you're going down into the abyss,
Absolutely.
Which is definitely a bogey at best.
Yeah, this hole is very well designed, and I think that, as you said, this gap that you're looking at off the tee pad, it's pretty daunting. It's going to get into a lot of players' heads. Another thing that may not translate that well on camera is it does go down off the tee pad and back up straight ahead, so I feel like that can sometimes play into people's mentality. That being said, it does. You have to be able to carry 420 plus feet to be approaching the circle in a straight line through a gap that's not very wide. So it's pretty demanding, but I think that it's fair. It's birdieable if you hit a perfect shot, and I think that makes it a pretty fair par 3. That being said, during round 2 here, hole 14 did play over a half stroke above par.
Yep, there's only one birdie, and it was by Jesse Bickley.
Jesse Bickley
was on fire that starting this round. He was only had one bogey up to this point.
Yeah, Jesse is a very good player. I got to spend some time with him on the road a few years back. Super nice kid, and yeah, absolutely, he's just becoming a better player every day. You had to deal with some unfortunate business there off the tee, and you're a little bit down the hill, but that looks like you're pin high with a chance to save your par after a pretty unfortunate drive. Curtis looking to probably play something pretty similar here. He's putting it out wide enough to make sure that he's not flirting with that hill on this shot, but he now has to deal with that on the putt. That being said, that looks to be a pretty similar distance to the one he hit previously, and he seems to have his confidence back after that misstep, so I expect him to run that.
This is a dagger from Blake. He throws them and putts them, and he likes to hit basket with them too.
That was absolutely a dagger.
I didn't know he hit the basket. That's pretty cool. Dinked it.
Now, by the looks of that banger, that is one of the ones that Kenny's had for a long time.
Yeah.
He definitely has some newer ones in there, but I know, like, I've seen some of his that the thumb tracks are almost gone. Like, that's how they're probably 6 grams lighter than when he bought them.
For this was tough because of that tree right there. I had to go.
Oh no.
Yeah, I thought I put it in. I had to go with a little flick, but the spin of the disc caused it to shoot right back out.
Yeah, that was an amazing effort, though. There's not really much else you could do from there. Kenny wants it, but again, sometimes your body just puts a little less into it. You have to really commit to a shot like that, especially if you've played the course and you have experience being down that hill. You do not want to be down that hill.
No.
Let's
Ooh.
go, Curtis. What a save.
Dude.
You could see he was even a little bit softer than he would be in most putts, but he got it in there. Good for him. Glad to see him save that. Couple of bogeys. It's going to shift things a little bit, but not by much. It's still anybody's game. Anything can happen. Hole 15, par 3, 323 feet, over a bit of a gully into a pretty wide open green. Pretty straightforward shot for pretty much everyone on this card.
I think that this or next hole is tied for probably the best scenic hole on the course. Just because of the landscape in the back.
Yeah,
background.
the hills that you see over Curtis's left shoulder there, it's such a beautiful view. Highly recommend this course. Great shot from Curtis, by the way.
Yeah, great
Highly
shot.
recommend this course. It definitely is if you can get in around the time of a tournament, because it never looks better than when a tournament's getting ready. That being said, it is taken care of well year round, but what a treat to get to be out here and see it when it's in this condition.
This is probably one of my favorite courses in Washington. If not, it is my favorite course in Washington, just because of how pretty it is and just there's no course like it.
Absolutely. It's one of the best in the state, and this event is also one of the best in the state. They do justice by this course, and they've done it year after year. Another shout out to Cole. Absolutely just does amazing work. Him and everybody involved. Thank you to everybody involved. What a shot from Kenny. Just another absolute park job from the card. What are you using here off the tee pad?
I'm using a 2020 Heimberg destroyer. Definitely, these are my favorite destroyers.
I was just going to say, that seems to be your destroyer of choice, the
Yes.
Heimberg.
Yep.
Great hit. Got a little bit of ground play, but well within range, and you hit right next to the basket.
Yep.
Great drive. Blake being the furthest out, I would assume that's 40-something feet from this angle. The circle of grass is definitely bigger than the circle, so
Yeah, it's pretty close to being there, but it is a few feet off.
Really going for that loft. He has that dialed, though. I mean, it's falling at the right spot. That was just a little bit high. And that was important for him. I mean, that was to make sure that he maintained a one-stroke lead over the card going into hole 16, knowing the other competitors are close. And with you being the furthest of the remaining three, hitting that birdie, he's definitely looking at the rest of the card converting here. So
Yep.
that was an important putt for Blake. That was a great putt from you.
Thank you. Good putt
Curtis and
from
Kenny.
Curtis.
Yeah.
Tapping for the rest of the card.
Pretty much the same thing.
Just cleaning up here, moving on to hole 16. One of the more fun par 4s on the course.
Definitely. The last par 4 too.
I honestly thought you putted from mine.
Another quick view of the beautiful NSRA course out in Sedro, Woolley. Hole 16, as Bhrahsten said, the last par 4 of the round. 636 feet. You're going to see the drone carry out to the opening and then turn right, which is basically all you need to do with your disc. If you can make it to anything in the short grass, you're now looking at a straight open shot at the basket. You do have OB lining both the right and the left, which you can see all the sticker bushes. It is paint marked. Realistically, all players need to do on this hole is make it into the open and make sure they have the distance to carry for the second shot. And at 636 feet, that shouldn't be too much to ask from any of these players.
Oh boy.
Curtis put a
Huge
move on that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is in prime territory. That's just going to be a nice, easy, straightforward shot from there. Kenny looking to do something the same.
I think this is a PD2 from Kenny.
I believe it is too. The Discmania discs that I know him to forehand the most would be the PD or the PD2. And that is just smacked.
Yeah, that is so far.
Those are amazing shots. It's hard to translate the distance on film that these forehands are carrying, but Salty Saul was not impressed.
No, he knows he can do better.
He's like, can I play yet, guys? Let me show you how it's done. That looks to be a great shot from yourself as well.
Yeah,
Everybody gets in a really prime territory there.
Yeah, throwing the same disc as last hole, that 2020 Heimberg.
You're definitely throwing it well. Blake opting for the backhand, gets it turned over. That might be a little tight, but it seems to be fine. It got outside of there, so he's on the corner. It looks like, I thought he might be the furthest back, but it's hard to tell from that angle. Curtis lining up, forehand approach.
He's doing that mortar again. Getting it over, and knowing it's going to come back. Great shot from Curtis.
Absolutely beautiful. He's been putting that thing wherever he wants it pretty much all day. Blake lining up what I would assume is a bit of a hyzer spike. He's carrying it a bit outside over the OB, but it's got plenty of time to swing back, and that looks like it's going to be dialed. Yeah, that's great.
Great shot.
What are you lining up with here?
I'm throwing a Firebird. Just throwing that big spike hyzer.
Smart play at that distance. You just want it to spike.
A little inside.
Looks like it caught a little bit of wind too, maybe.
Yeah. It was a little breezy, but not too much. But I just didn't commit hard enough, and I didn't throw it wide enough either. And then Kenny doing the opposite, throwing a spike hyzer with the sidearm. And dialing it once again.
He knows that distance pretty well. He got to dial it in round one to the foot. He knows exactly where he wants to be now. This is big putt for you. This could be some positioning. I don't really know how the card was behind you at this time, but I imagine there was some people chasing you down.
Yeah, Mikey Behringer was catching up too.
Didn't phase you, and you hit a beautiful birdie putt. You get to see that from this angle as well. Nice shot. Hit it right where you want to hit it.
A little bit of nerve coming into this putt for Blake because he is tied with Curtis and only a few holes left.
Yeah,
also
you
Jesse Bickley.
See that.
Jesse Bickley making a run at it too from Chase Card.
It's like I set it up, you slam it in. No.
Be sure to get the shoes.
Those are the Mozart 7s.
The Mozart 7. Another star frame for the card.
Beautiful work. Going to hole 17, one of the definite harder par 3s, coming in at a 3.69 average. You have OB to deal with down at the bottom of the hill on the left. The large tree you see on the right is a Mando, keeping you from throwing any kind of hyzer spike over the path. And once you get into the green, you're dealing with more trees per square foot than anywhere on planet Earth. It's actually a fact I just made up for this video. We have to go into dark mode just to see what's happening. It opens up a wormhole. No, but seriously, this is a very daunting green, and in my opinion, the most picturesque green on the course because of that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We got Salty Salt throwing up some
Oh my,
raspberries.
slam dunks it.
He was doing that for a solid like 15 minutes just because we were waiting for so long.
He is next on the Pro Berry circuit. Everybody look out for Salty Saul. Curtis lining up what's got to be one of the more important drives to him for this event. Like you said, being tied with only 2 holes to go, and this being, in my opinion, the harder of the two, which is
Absolutely
also the course's
it.
opinion. He put literally one of the best drives you're going to see on this hole down. Good move from my man Curtis. Kenny looking to do something pretty similar here. He absolutely has the power and the consistency with the forehand to make it happen.
He's doing a Nuke OS, I believe.
Yeah, put it on a really good line. It's got some good ground play here. That's phenomenal. If you can get into that tree line, you've done something special on this hole. Most people are not able to do that. Are you going with the Heimberg again?
Yeah, it's a different, another Heimberg, same run as that as the 2020 run, but it's not as overstable.
What a shot. You are not going to see that almost ever. Almost ever.
Think
amazing drive.
We all one-upped each other back-to-back, which is really cool.
That's been a theme on the card for this round, and it's definitely been fun to watch, and it's been cool to get to see Blake Kelly's game. This, unfortunately, looks to be one of the bigger missteps we've seen from him so far, but that being said, he's really shown that he has a solid skill set, and you know, from being that far from home to be where he's at on this card shows that he's got a lot of game and a lot of potential. That is drifting towards a very scary part of this course. Potentially OB. Looks like he may have stayed in. He definitely went OB. But you can see how treacherous this hill is. He's now putting.
Okay.
But so he's going to try to save this putt. You can see how dangerous this hill is, though. He's putting at a near, just directly uphill.
Yeah. You have to get that putt so far up, and it's super hard to do that.
Well, and that's what makes this hole one of the hardest holes in general, let alone the hardest putting green. And in fact, it was the hardest hole of the day, coming in again at a .69 average above.
Yeah. There was more pars than bogeys, but you saw bigger numbers this round.
Curtis opting for the smart play, knowing that he does not need to push that to now have the lead. With Blake having gone OB and having an errant drive, Curtis was able to lay that up. Kenny, however, is in a pretty prime position to run this, and he's going to need this if he wants a chance to convert and chase down at this last hole.
Yeah.
Beautiful
Great
putt
birdie.
from Kenny.
Tying it up. Going into hole 18. I think it's after this hole, I believe there was a three-way tie or something like that.
Yeah, Kenny putting it down when he needed to. Curtis was, like I said, able to kind of make that safe play, which is, keeping him tied for the lead currently. Blake, unfortunately, dropping back a bit. Amazing, too.
2 birdies on this hole in the same card is really good. Almost 3, but Curtis was in the position to run it, but being smart and laying it up.
Yeah, he absolutely was in a position to hit that putt, and I would only be able to assume that he made the choice he made after watching Blake take a double bogey, knowing that he had the lead. So he played safe, he played smart, and that's going to keep him in the lead, tied for the lead, going into the final hole of this round.
Yep.
It's making for some exciting golf.
Yeah, 3-way tie between Curtis, Kenny, and Jesse Bickley.
Sneaking up from the chase card, Bickley throwing down a hot round. Hole 18, par 3, 460 feet. Massively downhill, beautiful shot. You get such an amazing view of the surrounding landscape. You do have some OB to worry about. That little drainage area beyond the path is also OB. That being said, it's been a great round to watch. Looks like y'all have put on a show, and I look forward to seeing awkward handshakes and the final hole. Is it Kenny? I think it's Kenny.
Kenny Clark on the tee.
Kenny thinks it's Kenny.
It is Kenny. If Kenny says it's Kenny, it's Kenny.
I always believe it. Lining up that Nuke OS for one final drive.
Yep. So, going into this last hole, Jesse Bickley parked it, had a guaranteed birdie, and he put it in. So they have to, Curtis and Kenny have to birdie to at least have any chance. And Kenny putting it pretty close.
That's about as good as it's going to get.
Yep.
That was a great shot from him.
I'm going with the Leopard, my champion Leopard that I threw on 6. Really straight flyer. And I know if I just put it right down that gut, then I know I'm going to hit it.
Yeah, I think it looks like it is tracking pretty darn well.
I think this is Curtis.
Very good control. That's definitely giving you a chance to hit that birdie too. Curtis lining up a forehand. And a nice amount of flex to it. That should be coming back. Ooh, almost got the art basket, but that's also going to give him a chance at it. That should be inside circle 2. Hard to see where that one tracked, but it looks like it's coming back pretty nicely. Might be a little shy left, but not too short. That's definitely still giving him a chance.
Yeah.
Thank you for spotting.
Thank you for spotting.
Thank you for everybody who spotted out here today, or this weekend.
Yeah, the event is always very well staffed by people that are enthusiastic to help see it go well, and it's one of the reasons that I will keep coming back no matter how bad I may play. We have Blake lining up a big putt, gives it a good run, just stays a little bit left.
Taking Anthony Holly's
Yeah,
hat.
gotta take
What about
the
caddy?
caddy's hat because of how sunny it was.
Look at that. Anthony
He
Holly
is
is
the man.
absolutely the man.
Anthony Holly is the man.
Curtis looking more dapper than he's looked all day, lining up a very important putt. He's ready for this. You can feel the energy.
Yeah, he's got to put this in to tie with Jesse Bickley, force a playoff.
Just a little short.
Just short and left. Great tournament by Curtis.
Absolutely.
Last round was a great round. Super fun to watch him play.
I've had the opportunity to get to play with him a few times, and he absolutely is one of the best people you'll ever meet, regardless of where you meet him. An absolute phenomenal character. Almost as good as that putt.
Thank you.
Great putt.
I knew I had to put that in to tie with Blake to tie for fourth.
That's big. That's, in that last moment that you had, you capitalize on it, and that's huge. What a great tournament from you, man. Fun to watch.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely best tournament so far. Best rating average.
There will be plenty more to come.
Oh, and then Kenny misses his putt too.
Wide right. You don't see that very often from him.
And Blake to finish off his tournament.
Really fun to get to watch him. Again, somebody I'd never seen or heard of before, but seems like a great guy, really well-rounded game. Unique form, super fun to watch. Proud of him on his finish. Good 13 under for the event. Kenny to finish out, get his par. Fell just one stroke short there, but 15 under is a great accomplishment. Him and Curtis both played really well. It was an amazing battle to watch.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations to Jesse Bickley for killing it that last round. He shot a
47.
47, which was 1058 rated. Ridiculous.
That's fantastic. Can't believe. What a battle. What a battle from the card here on this last round. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Congratulations to everybody that played. Bhrahsten, it was amazing to get to watch you.
It was.
Kenny, good work. Everybody involved, thank you for putting this on. Make sure you subscribe and follow for the next video coming your way from Fairway Media. Bhrahsten, you want to leave him with some parting wisdom?
Practice. Get better. You'll do it.
Get better. That's the most inspiring thing I've heard in a long time.